I am one of Didi Ma Shivani's disciples, Sadak Devashish. I will be reading a few parts written by Didi Ma in this video as well. Due to some questions we have received, we are going to shed more light on the subject we have covered in our previous videos. Ma, you mentioned that so-called supraphysical things happen by the doings of disembodied entities. Do all departed spirits do such work, or does it happen sporadically? Would you please clarify the difference between spiritism and spirituality?
Spiritism deals with the spirits of the deceased. Some people have a natural gift of coming in touch with them. Some develop such a talent, and some others use occult means, mantram, chants, or methods to acquaint themselves with them. Spirituality, however, is different. It is a way of life that all will have to adopt sooner or later in order to know and understand themselves. Knowing oneself rightly is knowing the truth, the divine, or the great something indefinable. Call it by the name of your personal God. What does it matter?
I had my share of playing with the spirits when I was in the 6th grade, taught by an uncle we had seances, or communicated by other means with the spirits, but it didn't last long. These methods are unreliable and dangerous. In Spiritism, it is maintained that every individual has a spirit guide, and one must find such a personality. It is a partial truth. Most people do not need anyone else but their own awakened souls to guide them. Or, if some are fortunate enough to find a Sadguru, a Buddha, an awakened one, their journey toward their own real self begins. The great ones do not dwell upon future predictions or some such sensational happenings of your life. There are plenty of psychics or astrologers around to expound on that. Yet there are people like Seatbelt Psychic, a name he chose for himself. In his videos, he drives a cab and gives unexpected readings in the form of contacting the departed relatives of his passengers. Many a time, people hurting from the demise of their near ones found closure through this. It was a pure astonishment to watch these episodes. At the same time, one wonders about the countless spirits hanging around here, in our atmosphere, instead of leaving to rest in their own plane of consciousness. If one has not opened oneself to the light of spirituality while still in the body and lived only mentally or sentimentally, dedicated to their wants and hunger, attachments, desires, etc., after that, such spirits find it extremely hard to leave the earth's arena and go to the place meant for them, which, by the way, is determined on their individual level of spiritual development. When in their own domain, they have a chance of making advancements, realizing errors or mistakes made, and preparing for a better life the next time they take birth.
It is the spirits who dwell invisibly around us that run the risk of getting caught by people who know how to enslave them and use them for their purposes. Although, at times the spirits themselves may wish to join humans for some reason. Once, years ago, along with a group of people I knew, we were walking on foot through a forest path surrounded by woods on either side of it. It was not very late, but the small towns in the mountains tend to wrap up their days quite early, so by 8 in the evening, hardly anyone was seen outside. As we made our way down the path, I thought I heard footsteps right behind me, as if someone was following us. I turned around to see no one was there. We continued on, and again, the sound of footsteps was heard loud and clear again. "Do you hear it?" I asked my companions. "Doesn't it sound like someone is right behind us?" "Yes," they answered quietly. "We hear it too. We would like you not to turn around, though. Please just keep walking." I was mystified. I'm not sure I understand. Now, this particular group of people was the kind who dealt with spirits day in and day out. I knew they had quite a few working for them. One of these tantrics, this is how they are addressed in India, said to me, "It is a disembodied entity and it wishes to follow you." "Why me? I don't want any communication with such things." "That's why we would like you to not turn around. It will show your disinterest, and after a while, the thing will quit." "How do you know it wishes to follow me?" I asked again. "We know. The entity expressed its desire to be with you, to do your bidding and serve you." "I want no such thing," hastily I said. They started to laugh. "Yes, we know that. You're focused only on your divine beings. But she told us, 'I like her. I want to be with her.'" "When did she say such things to you?" "Just now, while we were walking." "So, if it doesn't leave, what will happen?" "She will leave, we assure you." After 10 minutes, the sound of the footsteps ceased. "Is she gone now?" I asked. "Yes," they said. "We would have kept her had she wanted any one of us. The likes of her are quite useful." During our stay in that small town, I had a chance of observing these people, their activities, and how they used these spirits to make some beneficial things happen for their clients, how they just as easily used the spirits to hurt others at the bidding of their clients as well, and how arbitrarily they took offense at small things and used these very spirits to punish people around them for inconsequential personal matters. For example, one of the tantrics asked to borrow a motorbike from his client for a day. A few hours after acquiring it, the client showed up wanting his bike back as his wife urgently needed to visit with her parents. Later that evening, he showed up again and offered his bike back to him, but Tantric refused the favor. His client, however, had a story to relate. "A weird incident happened today while we were out," he said. "We had closed our windows securely for the trip, but when we returned, they were open. And God knows from where a whole bunch of birds had entered our house, defiled the food we had prepared, and made the whole house intolerable by their droppings. We are extremely perplexed as to how this has taken place, so I thought I'd ask you." Tantric made no answer, and his client left. I asked him later, "Do you have something to do with this mishap?" "Yes," he answered.
I witnessed other such incidents and felt disgusted with their work ethics, personalities, and lack of any true knowledge. Their egos were huge, and they fancied themselves to be some kind of gods. Nonetheless, relationships with spirits will always be transactional. One needs to keep this in mind at all times. I have noticed the greater a being, the less he or she uses any of their powers for insignificant reasons, whereas these tantrics use it at the slightest provocation and feel invincible. Genuinely spiritual beings communicate directly and explain things plainly just as you and I do. The smaller and non-spiritual ones do not understand that one day the misuse of their powers will come back to haunt them. The tantrics didn't seem to care about the karma they were accumulating. According to them, one of their spirits had shared its so-called knowledge with them. So they didn't think the law of karma will have any repercussions for them. Just because someone has died, it doesn't make that entity knowledgeable or worthy of being a guide. There is a perfect law of justice that prevails in this universe. One can hide one's actions from others, but the psychic being or the soul remains aware of all doings at all times. And you will agree, it is impossible to run away from one's own self. The great beings or spiritually advanced beings do not work with spirits. Of course, there can always be exceptions. In the world of spirituality, there are never any hard and fast rules, so one always has to keep one's mind open to possibilities. I know the perfect spiritual beings that I have met, and I must say I have met quite a few, who did not work with the spirits of the deceased. Their goal is to bring such awakening in others that stay with them regardless of mutation of time, that is, life after life. Such an awakening, once obtained, grows more and more, until one fine day they realize their true self, true identity. Persons who have made such spiritual achievements have an atmosphere of their own. I recall the first time I traveled to New Jersey to see Babaji, Avdut Shri Bhagwan Ramji, I experienced an atmosphere full of peace, quite different than what was familiar to me. As soon as I stepped into the small town he was in, a strange peace and quietude fell over me. I marveled at this instant emergence of deep calm. Under the influence of this astounding newfound peace, I started to walk aimlessly, almost oblivious to the fact of why I had arrived in that town. Later, in Babaji's company, I was almost always in a state of peace and joy. Many a time, there would be no interaction, no communication between us. He'd be sitting silently in his chair, I in my place, and mind you, not even meditating. But I would be in a state of profound inner quietude.
My own guru's atmosphere, or Ma Indradeviji's atmosphere, had divine flavors of their own. My guru had 400 or so spiritual centers all over the globe. They all had their different schedules of programs per location and time. My Baba never needed to know when the meditation was going to take place in any one of the centers, as people assembled and thought of him with love, surrender, and deep respect. And when they started to meditate together, lo and behold, his atmosphere of force would emerge to help them move forward in their voyage. Nothing compares in this world with what true spiritual greatness has to offer. No wonder we equate our revered gurus to the divine and nothing less. Ma Indradevi says in one of her songs, lines contributed by one of the commentators on our YouTube channel. So Ma says in one of her songs, "Kaun kahega baat guru ki, man ki kise sunaऊं, guru tajko na duare jaऊं." Who can never circumscribe the depth of a guru? To whom do I speak of my heart, if not to my guru? I don't have any other door to knock at. Maulana Rumi was right on the dot when he said, "This is the subtle truth. Whatever you love, you are." Indeed, in Ma, one finds the reflection of her guru as well as the aura of Sri Krishna surrounding her. Although my guru, Babaji, and Ma Indradevi are no longer in the physical, it feels like they are here now with all of us who venerated and loved them God can never be your past. He or she is ever present in the present. Other than the divine or great beings, I wouldn't expect unselfish gains from anywhere. And this truth needs to be taken seriously. It is said that even demigods pine to obtain a human body to truly enjoy divine love and bliss through their psychic beings, which, by the way, is only a human privilege, and then aspire to move up in their metaphysical expedition in the company of the great ones.